Hello everyone, it's Stray Faye here with another episode of Olympia Soiree. Alright, chapter 3 of Akaza's route. We are moving actually pretty fast through the romance compared to the other routes. Last episode we had a date, which turned out to not really be a date, but a visit to Tenyo Island. Giving Byakuya much needed closure and opening up some memories. And perhaps kindling her interest towards learning the loom, which is nice, a nice touch. But yeah, it seems like Akaza is very observant of like what Byakuya needs, like compared to all the other guys. He seems to be like giving her exactly what she needs. So yeah, it seems like the romance will probably go smoothly. So let's go into this next route. Although this next chapter, rather, is called Amaterasu and Susano-o. So we might be learning more about the gods this chapter. We saw Amaterasu. We haven't heard anything about Susano-o, though. So I wonder how he's going to tie in all this. Alright, no letters today. I stared at the cover of the letterbox. I opened it again. Did you think it's gonna appear a second time? No letters. I closed it again and then looked at the bathhouse. You being silly. That's right. I should tell Tsukiyomi that I went to Tenyo Island. I know, he didn't even ask for his permission before. Sometimes he's like, no, you can't. And then other routes he's like, yeah, you could have gone all along. I'm just pulling your leg there. Didn't want a child to be attempting to row a boat. But he's gonna ask how I got there. If he asks for the details... No. Gonna have to mention Akaza. Maybe next time. Yeah, kind of odd that, like, Akaza just goes there, no questions asked. Yosoga, you kind of understand because he was raised by Tsukiyomi, so he gleaned that information. Like, did Akaza just maybe get that information from Yosoga? I mean, he's into, like, he's an archivist, so he is into collecting as much information as he can about the island. Well, I guess we're not going to talk to Tsukiyomi. Things aren't the same as yesterday. I can't seem to stop thinking about him. Of all people, it had to be him. I couldn't stop remembering the warmth I felt from his hand. I cried in front of him, and I could feel my body getting hotter from the mixed emotions I felt. I don't have any letters today, but just have to wander around. Hopefully not get into any trouble. We're gonna hang out with Akaza. Like, we don't know what else to do. Calm down, take a deep breath. Remember what it was like to be a doll. Speak to him as if nothing happened. Good morning, Mr. Director. Yes, good morning to you. He was wearing his usual Kotowari uniform and glasses. It's hard to imagine he was the same person I was with yesterday. Is there a problem? You're in your uniform today. Of course, I am on duty. Well, I know that, but I took out the handkerchief from my bag. I personally washed and ironed it last night. I came to return this to you. You didn't need to do that. I have to get going. I don't have any letters today, so if you'll excuse me. He's like, what? You came here just for that reason? I bowed my head and turned around to leave. Oh. Please wait. He suddenly grabbed hold of my shoulder. Don't touch me. I already returned your handkerchief, so I'm done here. He quickly pulled his hand away. I only came here to return the handkerchief. Now, please excuse me. Please wait. I couldn't believe it. Akaza? He locked the door without a change in expression. Wait, what's going on? I appreciate your taking time to return my handkerchief to me. But you don't need to run off. I wasn't running. And why did you lock the door? It's because you were trying to leave before our conversation was finished. And please don't look away from me. I did not look away from you. Now would you please unlock the door and let me through? Is there anything else you wish to say to me? Please go back to your desk. So you do have something you want to say. I said everything that needs to be said. Are you sure about it? Stop treating me like some interrogation. Or stop treating this like some kind of words. Stop treating this like some interrogation. I mean, it kind of feels like it. Lock the door. You know, just point a light in her face. You look as though you have something on your mind. Well, it's not that I want to say anything, but I stared at his hand on the doorknob. Catching the feelings. She's like, ah. I held myself back from screaming. Okay, well, it's kind of weird that like he's locking her in, but I kind of get it. He's like, come on, let's like finish your conversation. Like finish what you have to say instead of just like running off and like thinking about it all day. Calm down. Take a deep breath. It's just a hand like any other. I wanted to apologize to you for yesterday. I couldn't muster the strength to look straight at him. That was about all I could say. You didn't do anything warranting an apology. I see. There's nothing else for me to say. To be honest, I wasn't sure what I wanted to tell him. Did you come here just to see me? Gasp. I flinched a bit before glaring at him. Where did that come from? Of course not. Do you have time now? Can we go for a walk? Oh, okay. I wouldn't mind that. I guess. Oh my. Go for a walk? I don't mind going on walks, so sure. Oh, the food stands are out. Ah, look at these vendors. Is there some kind of event today? It is always like this during lunch hours. I take it you haven't come here at this time before. I suppose not. I didn't know it was like this. I looked around the plaza with curiosity. Everything's so different. It was like, if only she changed her schedule. Like, never discovered this, because she usually just comes here after looking at the letterbox. Would you like to join me for lunch? Or just a drink if you're not hungry? There he goes again. I readjusted my cap to try and hide my prickling face. Well, if you say so, what do you recommend? There's a lot of good food here. What kind of food do you enjoy? I rarely eat outside, so having tea at the bathhouse was my first experience. What do you like to eat? I wouldn't mind trying your favorite food. Very well. Then would you mind waiting on that bench over there? I nodded and made my way over to the bench. I took a seat and watched him from afar. What in the world am I doing? It's a date. It's a lunch date. I know I'm bothering him by just by being here. I really did want to apologize for what happened yesterday. But I could have done that the next time there was a letter to deliver. The handkerchief was just an excuse. Thank you for waiting. I looked up and noticed a very delicious smell drifting my way. He's just gonna feed her. Like, Like, he knows all the tricks. This is what I usually have. Paella. Hey, words. Paella. Pan-fried rice dish with seafood, meats, and vegetables seasoned with various spices. That seems like a very fancy thing for, like, a food stall. Like, that just, like, pops up. A pop-up food stall. How nice. It has all the goodies. Very filling. Yellow rice? The color comes from saffron, and it's cooked with different kinds of seafood. Saffron, a spice harvested from the crocus sativus flower. Alright. So the reference to color. And this is for you. A new kind of drink. It's called Olympia soda. He's just pulling out all it's like he saw all the other routes of the game. Like, it's like he's an expert. It's like he's an expert and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna speed run this romance here. Huh? That's my... It's made with milk, jelly, and peaches. The drink turns white as the ice melts. I didn't know there was such a thing. I've never felt comfortable at the plaza. I only had memories of people staring at me from a distance or running away from me. May I? Of course. I slowly and cautiously took a sip. It tastes delicious. Something like this is named after me? Try some of the paella. Thank you. I scooped some of the yellow rice along with a piece of clam. This tastes delicious too. I'm glad. So it's to your taste. Paella, saffron. I'll have to remember that. So different from anything else I've had. But it tastes wonderful. This place is very close to the Kotowari, so I usually come here for lunch. Do you eat here too? I take it back with me most days. There's no telling what new work may arise. Ah. I'm sorry for barging in your office today. I'll let you get back to work as soon as I'm finished. I didn't mean it that way. I don't actually have regular work hours. It's just been working all day and night. Like bad as Koroba, probably. Don't say things like that. You'll tempt me to keep doing this. It's the same with Koroba. He may look like he's having fun in Yomi, but it's only to take a break from working all night. I see, so that's why. Hey Koroba, are you awake? If not, get up. I took another sip of the white soda. About yesterday. I must have looked very odd jumping into the spring and then crying all of a sudden. So I just wanted to say I'm sorry for causing you all that trouble. Like I said back then, it's only natural your emotions were heightened. You finally returned to your homeland for the first time in years. But I didn't expect to react that way. I took another sip of the soda. It was strange drinking something named after me. I used to go to that spring every day when we offered our prayers. Which is why I, simply couldn't hold myself back from entering the water. I'm so ashamed for behaving that way in front of another person. I understand how you feel. I must say it really doesn't bother me. I am just glad you weren't angry about it. I felt very relieved when I left your hideout. The back of my neck was burning hot. But it wasn't because of the sunlight. Of course I wasn't angry. I suppose that means our first date went well. That's good to know. Where should we go for the second? He's already planning seconds and thirds. I slowly brought the ice cream soda to my face to cover up how flustered I was. We can think about that later. That aside, you seem to know quite a lot about Tenyo Island. Not much, though I can't deny I know more than most due to the nature of my job. but most of my information is based on lore. Yesterday was the first time I'd ever been there. You seemed pretty confident about rowing there, huh? Really? Legends say that Goddess Amaterasu detests the presence of men. Considering that, I'm glad I survived. I don't see you dying soon. I hope not. I don't see you dying anytime soon. I don't plan to. How about joining me? Huh? Choose me as your husband, and we can be happy and grow old together. Already. Looking into the old years. Are you serious? I can't believe you're still saying that with a straight face. He's like, let's plan our future. It's been over a week and you still haven't found a single candidate. It's only a week. I'm just getting started. Then I'll wait for you to find someone more suitable. Where does his confidence come from? Then again, he is in a pretty good position, so I suppose it's warranted. He was born a red, he's young, and already the director of the Kotowari. Not many men will be able to compare to him. What am I thinking? Don't go convincing yourself. It's like, bad Byakuya, bad. You really want to preserve the white, don't you? You're upset about what I said before. Isn't that obvious? But don't you find yourself growing attached to me? He's just playing like a fiddle here, jeez. It was no use. I couldn't keep up with him. No matter what I said or did, he always seemed to get the better of me. I feel like he's like, I feel like this is a route where like Akaza has already seen like all the other routes and just knows what to do. Let me make something clear while we're on the subject. I do wish to preserve the white, but my primary interest is you as a person. I didn't know I could make a sound like that. I instinctively felt I needed to run far away. Much more of this and you would certainly win me over. Oh, I have something to do, so... You shouldn't make such an obvious excuse. Akaza took hold of my sleeve. I've known you for a long time. Wait, really? Wait, Granted, it was one-sided. He must be referring to my performances. I don't think he's referring to the performances. This is gonna be like a Yosuga thing where he's like known, like they've known each other since childhood or something. Somehow his expression and voice sounded rather grave. Olympia of the White, it doesn't speak to anyone and doesn't look at anyone. Everyone said you danced on stage like a well-crafted doll. There are rumors that you are Lord Doma's lover since you rarely stepped outside the manor. Which is why I was somewhat hesitant. No, very fearful to speak to you. Anxious that perhaps you were indeed a lifeless doll obeying his orders. I didn't have a choice. Because I... Oh, the Doma Ugg. I mean, she kind of put herself in there, right? She put herself in Doma jail. She just decided to go in there and, like, not come out. I don't think Doma, like, trapped her in there. But when I brought you to the Kotowari headquarters, I found that you were much more alive than you were while you were yelling at me. What? You piqued my interest then. I wanted to know who you really were. This is all happening so quickly. I was further surprised when you told me you wanted to deliver your letters. If I recall correctly, you didn't seem very surprised. I was surprised and very moved deep in my heart. I tried pulling away to escape the situation, but he still had the hem of my sleeve gripped tightly. I saw you as a trustworthy woman. Stop! Don't make me so happy. The word trust was the highest praise to me. Hearing him say so made me absolutely elated. I was happy to know that you were completely different from the rumors. Would you mind letting me go? You're wrinkling my sleeve. My apologies. My white sleeve fell upon his release. Sometimes I can't be who I really am. It's not only Doma. Everyone on the island only wants Olympia. Look how white she is. She's so creepy. Isn't that the girl from Tenyo Island? Which means she's of the real white lineage. Should we try to nab her? And after they treated me like some kind of monster 13 years ago. That's why I'm Olympia. It's my role as a woman from Tenyo Island to make the sun shine. Your role. But Byakuya. My heart jumped. I want to know the real you even more. What? You don't need to know me more. No, I want to, and I plan on becoming closer to you. Or else. Gasp. So, can we discuss our second date again? I didn't know what to say. He might actually be more cunning than Doma. Oh, no you don't. I have no interest in going out on a second date. Now please excuse me. She can still be so pure and honest even after being raised by Lord Doma and Lord Tsukuyomi. That's good. She's flustered. We'll continue that conversation later. Ugh. Why that iron mask? That stupid iron mask? That insufferable iron mask! I had jumped onto a nearby fiacre to flee. He was likely too busy to chase after me. I didn't expect him to say such a thing. He actually pressed me. Just as I was about to pick up a piece of driftwood. Oh, hello, Olympia. Ah! Oh, did I scare you? I apologize. Not at all. I was just thinking to myself. Have you found anything other than driftwood? I only just arrived, actually. Have you found anything, Lord Jigen? From the other end of the beach to here, it has only been kelp and driftwood. I suppose there are days like these. By the way, it has been a week since we spoke at Ashanaton. How are things faring? Your expression says it all. Well, I do not mean to rush you or order you to choose. I am merely concerned. Lord Jigen was calm and kind as usual, which is why I didn't want to let him down. I understand my situation very well. I should find my soulmate as soon as possible. Earlier, I saw you were blushing, so you must have someone in mind. I can trust Lord Jigen to not tell anyone. Well, sort of. Oh-ho. And who might this lucky person be? I can't tell you that yet, Lord Jigen. Ah, I see. We had a very unpleasant first meeting, and I vowed to never choose him as my husband. Well, that kind of makes it apparent who it is. But things have happened recently that have changed my view of him somewhat. Lord Jigen, you know very well the image I have as Olympia. But it's only when I'm on stage, when I'm performing like a puppet. The only ones who know me are you, Tsukuyomi, and my pet mouse. The time I spend out here looking for things, spending time speaking with you, are among the few moments I can truly be myself. I can continue to maintain the image of Olympia because I'm able to have these moments of peace looking out at Tenyo Island. But He told me he wanted to know the real me. Well then, you should allow him to do so. Oh, little winky face. If he recoils, he was not meant for you, and you can return to hating him if that happens. Do not be afraid. Learning to love someone is beautiful. Of course, days will not always be filled with happiness, but at least you'll discover something new about yourself. I didn't expect Lord Jigen to think that way. Discovering something new about myself. I'm curious, but I'm scared. You know, I still love my wife to this day. We never really heard about, like, Jigen's, like, family. I've never heard of him talk about his wife before. I wonder if it's alright to continue this conversation. Come to think of it, I have not yet done formal introductions. Behind you is my son, Akaza. Oh, wait, what? Hello? Eldest son to Jigen of the Red. Oh. Okay. I mean, he was gonna be, like, leader of the Red, but, like, with families like this, you never know if, like, someone was, like, adopted in. I was worried, so I came after you. I have no intention of listening in on your conversation. Was I dreaming, or maybe it was an illusion? Did Lord Jigen just say Akaza was his son? I mean, Jigen... I mean, if that's so, like, Jigen's very much on, like... on Team Akaza. It's like, alright, go, son! Go get her! He seems to have taken on my stubbornness, but I hope you two can get along. The illusion of Akaza came towards me. You should be more mindful of who might be behind you. You are Olympia, so there's no telling what may occur if you're not careful. I mean, I was in conversation with Jigen, excuse me. I am obligated to protect you, but I am unable to stay with you at all times. Unless, of course, you don't mind my staying by your side at all times. I mean, you have work to do, right? You would have to stay in your office while you do paperwork. Can you hear me? Hear what? I was absolutely embarrassed beyond belief. Lord Jigen was looking at me with his usual caring smile, but I felt differently about it now. He's scheming. He's like trying to get his son hitched. I'm never gonna talk to you ever again, Akaza. Such a fine girl. Very different from when she's on stage. And yet, very unfortunate. That's your opinion and theirs. I say to hell with fate. I'll live the way I want to live, and love the one I want to love. Okay. Fate is brought into this again. What's the fate? What in the world is happening? I ran across the beach as fast as I could. Was I hearing things? Or maybe I just heard it wrong. Akaza is Lord Jigen's son? That's kind of a new revelation. I mean, we should have known, because, like, Akaza was going to be the leader of the Red. But yeah, once again, we don't know who's been, like, adopted into, like, families and stuff. Too many revelations for Byakuya. Too many revelations too soon. Wow, we ran all the way to Naraku. Tsukiyomi, you have to hear this. Akaza is Lord Jigen's son. He's like, I know.
Ah, indeed.
I hurtled myself through Yomotsu Hirasaka down to the streets of Yomi straight to Naraku, unable to stop and catch my breath. I feel like she had to tell someone. Indeed? Wait, you know? He's probably like, well, you never asked. Also, Looking at the doll again, it does look like Amaterasu. It's like a spitting image. It's just a little chibi Amaterasu in his arms.
Indeed.
Indeed? Is that all you have to say? Wait, why didn't you tell me sooner? It would have helped me a lot if you...
Are you interested in that man?
I sensed something wrong and took a step back.
Do you wish to become one with him? Is that what you desire?
I didn't say that. I've only gotten to know him recently. I wasn't trying to hide the truth, but it was hard to believe myself that I could actually be interested in him.
I recall you told me a while ago that he treated you poorly.
Well, yes, but I mean, he didn't treat you poorly. He just, like, said the wrong thing in the wrong way.
You must never choose that man.
Huh?
The Red's bloodline is cursed. They'll only bring you misfortune.
Did I hear the hymn correctly? It seems so unlike him. What's wrong? Don't tell me you believe in that story too, Tsukiyomi.
Do not go near him. It is unwise to dismiss the wisdom of generations.
I stared at him, taking another step back. He's dead serious. He takes the same stance as Himeka. Even Himeka was like mad at Akaza for being of the Red, because apparently a man of the Red killed Amaterasu, but is their whole bloodline bad?
Byakuya.
I froze in place, hearing him say my true name.
I am always on your side. I am always wishing for only the best to come to you. Hence my warning. Do not get yourself involved with that man.
What? I trusted him more than anyone else in the world. I had known him since I was a child living on Tenyo Island. He taught me so many things about the world. It's kind of odd that, like, he would specifically point out Akaza, like, no. Even though the rule states she can be with any man of any color class, why zero in on the Red? He teased me from time to time, but it was never malicious or cruel. I always saw him as my friend and ally. You must have a better reason. You would never judge someone based on a story.
Based on an ill omen.
He wasn't going to go into the details. You kind of need details. Hello? Was this really the same person I knew all these years? Judging someone by such a stupid story. Are you really judging Akaza because of that?
My dear child, do not make me repeat myself. This is a warning that has been passed down through the generations.
This isn't right. He wasn't willing to hear me out. Did he seriously think I'd be convinced by such an old story? Well, let's hear the story. I better just let it go for now. Like, there has to be more than just, they have a cursed bloodline. I'm very surprised you believe in such a thing. At the very least, I can tell you don't think Akaza is a suitable match for me. I'll keep that in mind.
I should have killed.
Can we please finish that thought? Okay. We're not gonna find out now, are we? Things are going too well, I guess.
Ibe, you look troubled. Did something happen?
Daifuku nestled against me as I stared blankly at Tenyo Island from the balcony. Are you worried about me? As I stroked my sweet little companion looking up at me, I couldn't help but voice my thoughts. I'm not sure what's happening. And all because of him. Tsukiyomi said that the men of the Red aren't fit to be my husband. I mean, they can be though, right? They're not bad. We even had that, like, memory from a long ago where, like, Byakuya walked in on a lady with her hair dyed red. And she was washing herself in the spring.
The Red.
I mean, not that I care about Akaza one bit. But I don't think it's right to judge the Red because of what he said.
Does that mean you want Lord Akaza to be your husband, Ibe?
All I was told was that it's because of some old legend. Horrible, right?
I'm surprised your opinion of Lord Akaza has changed so much recently.
Like I said, it's not about Akaza himself. I don't even know him very well. And I have the option of choosing anyone else.
Back to that again.
I really respect Tsukiyomi. I always thought he was a fair person. But he's prejudiced against the Red. I gently rubbed Daifuku's back. I guess I'm just disappointed, that's all.
Do not fear. I am sure your soulmate is waiting to be one with you just as you are.
And it's just like it could be anyone, just not the Red. But he says that much later. He was so supportive then, but now... I thought he'd be happy if I found my husband. Daifuku seemed to have stopped squeaking and was now curled up on my stomach, tucked into a little ball. I wonder how my mother showed her love to my father. I wondered if she knew right away that the man she met was her soulmate. Or maybe she had worries of her own if someone told her otherwise. Not that I can ask her now, but I wish I could know.
Do not get yourself involved with that man.
All he did was tell me no, without giving me any details as to why. Details? It suddenly dawned on me. If Tsukiyomi isn't going to tell me about it, I should research the Red myself. Not because I want to get to know Akaza. It was easier said than done. I can't ask Akaza, and it might be difficult to ask Lord Jigen since he's of the Red himself. To the library. I used to be able to get all my answers from Tsukiyomi. Maybe Kuroba knows something. Or maybe... Doma, or the library. A certain person came to mind. I'd rather not rely on him, but I didn't have much of a choice now. Daifuku, I'll consult Doma. Oh, go now. Nighttime. Good, he's here. Good evening. He twitched a bit at the sound of my voice. Not a single word from him, let alone a good evening. Do you have a moment? I need to ask you something. What? Can you tell me more about the Red? More as in... He quietly closed the book in his hand and turned to me with an indifferent look. They say the Red is cursed, right? But seeing how prosperous they are, it's hard to imagine. So I was interested in learning more about the curse from the lore. Do you know that cinnabar can be found in the Red District? No? Cinnabar is toxic. When the island lacked knowledge in its early years, many died from its mishandling. Jigen drifted here from the other world, wielding knowledge on transforming cinnabar into medicine dyes and metals. Jigen single-handedly brought wealth to the Red. I was speechless from hearing of such a feat. I didn't know Lord Jigen was so wise. I was delighted to hear the achievements of someone I respected so much, but then... Now... A certain question should arise in one's mind. Why did the progenitor of the Red choose to have them reside on cursed land? Huh? There are many areas of this island filled with wealth and bounty. Do you not find it peculiar that the people of the Red continue to live such life-threatening conditions? The happiness I felt a moment ago was short-lived, and anxiety began to rise up from within. This is a story I heard before. Long ago, Goddess Amaterasu shone brightly as part of this world. But her younger brother, Susano-o, attempted to defile her. Susano-o, first definition, one of the gods born from Izanagi's ablution, or when he tried to purify himself. He was the youngest of the gods and is said to have created the ocean. Amaterasu resisted and was soon killed by the enraged Susano-o. It was then that the light faded from this world. Regretting his actions, Susano-o killed himself, and the blood that splattered forth became the Red. Since then, the Red have been cursed despite their standing as one of the primaries. Lady Amaterasu was... I was completely taken aback for a moment. I suddenly frowned. You're kidding, right? I mean, I'm of the white, and I never heard that story before. Then you need not believe me. Now he was frowning back at me. You asked me for knowledge and I gave it to you. Now you look at me with ingratitude. I'm truly sorry. I hurriedly bowed my head with respect. It sounded like he was belittling Lady Amaterasu, so I reacted without thinking. But Doma was absolutely right. My behavior was completely uncalled for. Never mind. The story I told you is an old one, and I doubt many people know it. I heard this absurd story by chance when I first arrived on this island. Doma? Why does it matter that Amaterasu was killed by Susano-o? Did he think he was some kind of god? I never seen him show respect or bow his head to anyone. Though I must say, Tsukiyomi is very fond of the story himself. I stared at him with a perplexed look on my face. What happened earlier today came back to mind. He long led the women of the White on Tenyu Island, worshippers of the goddess Amaterasu. He must have loathed the Red born from the blood of the man who dared defile her. He sneered with unsmiling eyes. Tsukiyomi was horrible, but Doma's even worse. He spoke in an insulting way towards not only me, but also Tsukiyomi and the Red. Thank you for sparing the time to speak with me. I won't worry over what we discussed today. After all, I'm a white, and I'm not Lady Amaterasu. Indeed. You are but a mere mortal. His derision was beginning to irritate me. I bowed politely and quickly exited the room. Okay.
Welcome back, Hime.
Completely exhausted, I collapsed into my chair. I guess I did learn about the red, but... As I gave a deep sigh, Daifuku's tiny feet pitter-pattered upon me. I petted him gently. But her younger brother, Susano-o, attempted to defile her. Amaterasu resisted and was soon killed by the enraged Susano-o. It was then that the light faded from this world. Where in the world did such a horrible story come from? I find it hard to believe. Tsukiyomi, how awful that he actually believed such a myth. The story was certainly uncomfortable to hear. I can see why it didn't sit well with him. I guess at this point, like, we don't know, like, if the legends are real or not. I'm never going to believe that story. Not that this has anything to do with Akaza. It's just that believing the story is disrespectful to Lord Jigen and the Red. That's all. Seems kind of unfair to, like, just... Oh, Izanagi and Izanami, we're going into more gods now. Okay, they're just throwing all the lore at us now. Yeah, it is kind of unfair to, like, condemn the whole Red. Because of, like, the actions of, like... one god so long ago. We've seen that with the purple as well. Like, one purple tried to defile a woman of the white, was batsued for it, and then that just led to, like, animosity with the purple, like, seeking revenge if they ever landed up on that island again. Alrighty, see, they're getting interesting. I want to go to the next chapter. Like, they're lore dumping. Like, get more revelations here, more info. But we'll have to save that for the next episode. Hope you guys are having a fun and relaxing time. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.